Blog Talk Radio.
You're on air with Douglas, where fans are connected to their favorite celebrities. And now, here's your host, Douglas.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special Saturday episode, and the only way I would ever do a Saturday episode is for our guest today. But first, before we introduce her, David, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing? How's Massachusetts today?
Oh my goodness. I got stuck in the snow yesterday. I had the day off from work, and I thought, easy breeze, yeah, I'll just go babysit my nephew and niece. It took me 30 minutes to get out of my driveway, and then 20 minutes to get off my street. It is HE double hockey sticks out here. And,
well, I sure don't miss that.
Today has been good. I mean, I didn't go anywhere, but snow everything's plowed, and the snow is all taken care of. It's starting to melt. Yesterday, randomly, it was suddenly 30 degrees out, and the snow was just starting to melt really fast. So,
well,
it's okay today.
I'll send you some Los Angeles sun, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, everybody, this has been a year in the making to bring our guests back, and I'm just going to get right into it. If you missed the first interview that I did with her last year, this is our one-year checkup. But no mammograms, no testing, no nothing like that. It's just a one-year checkup with our one and only Kimberlin Brown. Welcome, Kimberlin. Oh, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Here. Sorry. There you are, Kimberlin. Sorry.
You know what? It's not often I get muted. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, Blog Talk. You got to love this internet radio. Someday I'm going to make it big and be on the real radio. So welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm doing really well. How about you guys?
I'm doing great. It's been a year. A lot has changed. When I talked to you last, I was living in the Midwest, and I moved back to the Los Angeles area this past year, right after I talked to you last year. And so I'm enjoying this nicer weather than that. Like David was just saying, snow and plowing and stuff. So it's been nice to be back in the warm weather again.
No, actually, I think isn't it in the 80s today in California out on the coast? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Sorry, Dave.
I do want to say a couple things. Number one, before the show, I was listening to the other interview they did. I didn't want to ask the same questions or repeat. And I think I told you before we got on air, I was really shocked how, sweet and nice and just open that you are. I guess I didn't expect Sheila Carter. I don't know, I expected more like someone who's like, okay, let's get this done. What's going on? But you're just so sweet and relaxing, and you could be like a nanny or something. Jeez.
She was a nanny.
Oh, I was the nanny from hell, though.
True. And then I also wanted to know, before we get started, how did you get your name? That's an unusual, beautiful name.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. My mom, we're from a cattle ranching family up in Northern California, and it's just something my mom came up with. There was a ranch down the street from her dad's ranch, and she had seen the name Kimberlin there, and fell in love with it, and that's how I ended up with it.
So beautiful. I just love it.
No, thank you.
And there's no other Kimberlin in this world that I've ever heard of, so.
Actually, I have been honored to have quite a few kids named after me. So,
wow.
So there are lots of Kimberlins out there in the future. That's for sure.
That's amazing.
Now, David, wasn't the girl on Guiding Light, her name Kimberly Brown?
Kimberly Brown. That's so funny. The Mara. Yeah.
That played Mara. Yes, Mara. Yeah, that's right.
Kimberly J. Brown.
Yes, exactly. All right. So you took some pictures today, and I wanted to, first off, last year when we talked, we told you get on Twitter more often, and you've done good. You're using your Instagram and your tweets.
I'm trying. I'm still so behind the curve with all of that. It's just like I'm so busy working. It takes a lot of time for social media.
Yes,
it really does. And I've got to tell you, I appreciate the publicists, at CBS and ABC more than ever, because when you try to do it yourself, it's difficult.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And yes, that is true. And you've got kids now. You've got a boy who's going to be turning 16 on Monday. So happy early birthday to your boy. And then how old's your daughter now?
She turned 20 on the 31st.
My goodness. My goodness. Oh my gosh, that's just it's just unbelievable that time has flown by so bad. I have an 18-year-old son, and it just when they get to that age, you're just, where did the time go? Where is it? And
exactly.
Then you look and you're like, oh, I'm 40. Ooh.
And the thing is you don't feel any different.
No.
You don't feel any older, and you look at your kids and you realize, okay, I am getting older, but you still have that young feeling inside. So I think it's nature's way of letting you keep up with your kids.
Yeah. So you were skiing today. How did that go?
Oh, what an incredible day. My daughter talked me into taking first runs, and that's where you go up early so that when the chair opens, you're first up. And I've got to tell you, it was worth it, so worth it. We had an amazing time. She's actually working up here in Mammoth this winter, and she's loved it so much. I think she's going to stay for the summer and continue on next winter. And she's been working with disabled sports and just really growing. I'm really proud of her. But it was the mountain got closed down, I want to say probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock. They're looking to have historic winds here in Mammoth until 4 o'clock tomorrow night. So Leslie Boehm and I, Leslie is Alexis's godmother, and you might recognize her from Soap Opera Magazine. She takes a lot of photographs of celebrities. She's my dearest friend, and we're up here skiing together with the kids and just having a great time. We came back to the condo and put our feet up and had a hot toddy and started watching the Olympics and waiting for you to call.
All right, that sounds good. Well, yeah. I'm glad.
Oh, hey, wait. While we're on the Olympics, I just want to give a big shout-out to our men's slopestyle skiing for sweeping the podium. I'm so excited about that. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Wow. Congratulations on that. So what really floored me was, I know we've been playing phone tag, but this phone that, the number that I have, I kept getting no answer, and I thought, I have to have this number wrong. This must be it. But it must be a phone that's up there where you're at, or I couldn't get through. So I was like,
this is the number for our Mammoth house.
Gotcha. Nobody's there, Doug. No one's going to answer it. But anyway, one day I was busy. I was doing whatever, and somebody tweeted me or sent me a direct message and said, Kimberlin Brown's looking for you. And I was like, what? I was just like, where, what? And this was like back in November, and then I looked and I found out that you wanted to come on and talk about your new project that you're working on. I was like, oh, I can't wait to get this. So I definitely want to talk about that. And of course, for those listeners who didn't get to listen, well, of course we have to visit Sheila. Of course, we got to talk that. I don't want to let the viewers and listeners down because people, I've grown since last year. I've doubled my audience, so there's a lot of new fans listening tonight as well. So you have a new project out, and I've watched the ones you've linked us to. So tell us about this.
You know what? It's called Dramatic Designs, and it's on the Design Network. And a dear friend of mine from North Carolina actually called and asked if I'd be interested in doing my own show. What a lot of my fans don't realize is what I actually went to school for was for design. And the entire time I've been on the show, I've also had my own design business called K. Brown Designs that I've kept completely separate. As a matter of fact, a lot of my clients don't even know I'm on daytime. And so season 1 was a home that I finished last year down in Cabo San Lucas, and season 2 is a commercial space. It's a hair salon in North County, San Diego, called Hair Lounge, and I'm getting all kinds of really great comments on all of that. If anyone wants to tune in, they have to go to the Design Network, and if they take a minute to sign in, they will actually send you automatic updates as to when the next episode is.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun with it.
Oh, well, I will definitely do that because I don't want to miss one. I've watched the ones that you linked out, and that's exciting. Now, are you filming a new season now, or are you taking a break right now, or?
Well, actually, they'd like me to do another season. Season 2 is already completed. Let's see, episode 1 has already aired. Episode 2 is coming out, and then we finish editing episode 3 on Wednesday and 4. So pretty much the second season is shot. We're into the editing portion of things now, but they have expressed interest in me doing a third season. And if I do season 3, I think what I want to do is a how-to series this third season, showing people that these things are doable and things that you can do on your own. And I'm going to show people how to do that, and I'll have a guest on each episode with me, just so they can see that this is something you really can do. People can obtain the look that they're looking for without spending thousands and thousands of dollars. They simply have a little bit of time on their own to put forward. They can accomplish it.
Well, that is fantastic. I'm glad that's come up, and watching it, it's neat to see you in in something different. We're all used to you in daytime. Not only from Young, Restless and Bold, Beautiful, but you also played on a judge on All My Children, and you've been on The Bay. So it's nice. And by the way, if anybody has not seen it, I don't even know if it's available yet, but there was a short film that Kimberlin did called The Necklace, and it came out a couple years ago, and I don't know if it's out yet for download, like on iTunes, but it's a really good, we talked about it last year, it's a really fantastic little piece, and it was really great to see you in that as well. So now to see you in a more of a reality type show, it's just like, we get to see you more, get to know you a little bit differently than portraying that character.
And actually the film that I did a year ago with Tom Sizemore is actually starting to air at theaters in San Diego next month.
Fantastic. And what's the name of that again? 5 Friends?
5 Hour Friends.
5 Hour Friends. That's correct. That's great. Right. 'Cause I've been waiting for that. I'm excited to see that. Have you seen the final product?
I have, and it's interesting. I mean, it's nothing quite like the daytime Sheila character, but they were definitely interested in that kind of a character. Somebody who just really can't get out of her own way and just creates problems for herself where there really don't need to be any. And Tom Sizemore's character is pretty much the same way. So I'd like to say it had a wonderful happy ending, but it was it's a womanizer who pretty much found his match in my character. But he fell in love with her. She wanted love and didn't know that she could get it from him. It's a tragic sort of film, quite honestly. But it was nice working opposite Tom. When he's in work mode, he's brilliant. He really is a phenomenal actor. I know he's had some issues in the past and some most recently, but when he's sober, he's great.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see that.
Yeah.
David, did you have something?
Well, I'm glad that you clarified that about Tom, and it's the same with Alec Baldwin. You see these stars, and all you hear is their bad stuff, but the work that they do is amazing, and I just wish we would, go back to old Hollywood where you really didn't know a lot about people's backgrounds. You just focused in on their work. So I'm glad you said that.
And with the whole social media thing these days, nobody has a private life any longer. They really don't. Even skiing today, there's a guy, everybody has a GoPro on their helmet, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
And there's this guy who came flying out of the trees at everybody, and he's going to be very shocked when he goes home and looks at his GoPro, and people are looking at him going, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, there's no privacy any longer, and I agree with you. I wish on one hand that it was back to the way it used to be, where people weren't criticized for their personal lives. But unfortunately, that's the society we've become.
Definitely. And when I was, like I said at the beginning of the interview, I was just really shocked at how completely, 100% different that Kimberlin is from Sheila. Where do you get the Sheila character from? Is it based off of someone? I'm still shocked by listening to you talk. I'm just shocked by it. I'm like, is this the same woman?
You know what I drew from when I went in on that audition. Ed Scott told me, think Kathy Bates from Misery. I want somebody who can turn on a dime, who can smile at your face and then stab you in the back, and that's who I drew from. I drew from her character basically, and the really wonderful thing about playing Sheila is there's no wrong. So it didn't. I could go as big with it as I wanted to, and you know what? When it's a business, it's a business. When you're hired for a specific character, and that's the character that you're supposed to portray, it doesn't mean that that's how you are when you go home at night. I mean, that's why they call it acting.
Right.
So true. Yeah, so it talk about a lot of fun, though. I mean, what a great character to have the opportunity to play. I think, a lot of people on the show, when they were always asked by the soap magazines, who would you like to play, they always wanted to play the bad girl or the bad boy.
It's the best line.
Well, and it was funny because they would ask me if you could play anybody, who would it be? And it was, I don't know. I'm pretty good with who I've got here. I mean, my character, every time I got a script, it was exciting for me because I never knew what I was going to do next. Where, the good people, it's always very predictable what they're going to do. They're always going to do the right thing. Where Sheila was most of the time doing the wrong thing, and then when she ever did try to do the right thing, it still turned out wrong just because people didn't want things to work out for her. So, yeah.
Now,
I'm going to say it.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well,
I'm
going to say, I'm going to say it, and you're probably going to be really shocked by what I say. If Kimberlin Brown and Sheila Carter were on soaps today, girlfriend, you would win an Emmy. I don't know what is going on, why you haven't won yet, but you would win one because, I remember watching you on Young and the Restless, and when you were tying up your mother, and I was just like, wow, this woman's captivating. I had no idea who you were. It was my first time watching soaps, and I'm just staring at my screen. And then when you moved over to Bold and the Beautiful, I just remember the scene where you were talking to Ian's character in his office, and I'm like, she's going to kill him. She is going to kill him. And I couldn't decide if you were going to kill him, the actor, or the character. I was just so into your performance. I think it's a travesty you haven't won an Emmy. And I said it, and I'm just going to let it be that.
Oh, well, thank you. You know what, that's lovely to hear, and I much appreciate it. I thank you for that very much.
Yes. Well, we'll give you your own Emmy right now. There we go.
Okay. All right. I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mom and Grandma, and more so all the wonderful actors that I worked with. Thank you very much.
Yes. Well, since you've been away from daytime, so much has changed. We've lost 4 soaps. 2 came back to online, and then those have been canceled again. Changes at the heads of all of these different shows have changed. So soaps are different now than when Kimberlin Brown and Sheila Carter was last seen. And there's a new writing regime now at YNR who is trying to take it into a different direction and stuff. And I think I don't remember if it aired or not, but when we last talked, I think your daughter Daisy, who you didn't even know you had,
right?
And Ryder, the twin brother. Daisy was in a mental hospital, and a long, dark-haired woman came in and checked her out. And this was the regime before, which was Maria Arena Bell. And we all got so excited because we were like, that is Sheila coming to get her daughter out of the psych ward. And then, bam! Literally within weeks, the new regime came in, and new writers, Josh Griffith, who used to work there. They dropped so many storylines within like a week. So we're still, a year and a half later, going, where's Daisy? And who was that woman with the long hair? We want our Sheila back, because us fans, we know that Michelle Stafford version of Sheila was not really Sheila. We know it. That was not her. That was, you remember Sugar, your crazy sidekick Sugar. We believe it's Sugar or one of your henchwomen came and you send them there. You're down in South America hanging out with whoever, the plastic surgery people. That's where they all go to the plastic surgery. And but so your last scene was, you going to the surgeon and giving a picture. And we didn't see the picture, but you said your character said, make me look like this. And then fast forward, and then you don't come back, and then the amazing Michelle Stafford is taking over, which she as Phyllis is amazing. She did a great job as we call her Fila, because it's like Phyllis Sheila mixed together. And so we're waiting for daytime to be like, we need a little juice here. We have not had a good Psycho for a while. There's been some wannabes, but no one in daytime is like Sheila Carter. So we definitely hope that CBS from either show reaches out, or the other two shows.
Right.
Well, I think daytime really has changed, though. The era of Bill Bell and that group is pretty much gone. I mean, Bradley's doing a great job on B&B, and their ratings and their international acclaim shows that. But Bill was brilliant because he didn't think for the short term, he thought for the long term. So he wouldn't have a storyline that only lasted for a month or 2 months. He would create storyline that would build and build and build for a year or 2 years or even longer. He knew where he wanted to take something long before we ever, got our scripts. So he's the only person. He was the mastermind. He knew what was coming up, and he knew how to taunt the fan base to keep them tuning in every week. And what's happening now, because of reality TV-based shows, they think that everything has to be faster paced and has to move so that they don't lose their audience. And I'm not sure that they ever lost their audience because of telling story.
Right.
If anything, they've lost audience because of how fast they do change. They don't play the scenarios out before the stories are completed.
Right.
But who am I to say? I haven't been on daytime in quite some time, as everyone knows. Not that I don't want to. God, I'd love to. At one point, I thought YNR was bringing me back, and then we simply, we were called, asked if we were interested, said yes, great, this is what we've got going on, and then never heard from them again. So it's, like you said, the constant changing of the authority and the powers that be, constantly changing to find what's working and find what's right, and there aren't a whole lot of Brad Bells and Bill Bells out there.
Yeah, yes.
Great.
And that is very much true. And, just so you know, I'm talking to Sheila for a second, okay?
Okay.
Just so you know, Lauren has, you hate her, and you're not around to taunt her right now. But this last year, she's had to deal with a bunch of shit. I'm just going to say it because she's had a stalker. She's always the victim. She was buried alive years ago, and then you taunted her for 20 years, and now she's got this. She had an affair with Michael. Can you believe it, Sheila? She cheated on Scott. Now she's cheated on Michael. So this hot young guy, bartender guy, comes into Genoa City, and she flirts with him, and then bam, she gets kidnapped again. It was kind of reminiscent of when Maggie and Sheila in the farmhouse type thing, and then he gets sent away. Her son Finn, which you tried to go after when he was a baby, again. He gets arrested for the murder of this hot young guy, and he really didn't kill him. He really was alive, and so now Lauren and Michael are all happy. So I think it's time for the real deal to come down. It's like you joined, I think, in 1990, was it?
Yes.
Was that 1990? So it's been 22 years, and Kimberlin Brown, Sheila, hasn't been on since, I think, 06, maybe? I can't remember if it was 06 or 07.
For the last 7 years, I think.
Yeah, so it's time. And your soap fans, let me tell you, your soap fans are probably one of the most passionate soap fans about a character ever. You and Cynthia Waltros, who played Annie Denton on Guiding Light, who's now on Young and Restless playing Kelly Andrews, you two are one of the best villainesses of all time. And it's so good to see Cynthia working now. So now it's time to get Kimberlin Brown working on daytime.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Tracy and I really love working together.
Oh, that's
we have, we play off of each other so well. And there's a trust that's there because all of our stuff was so incredibly physical that there had to be a high level of trust so nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
And no, I'm right there with you guys. Right there with you. I'd love to go back and torment her character.
And you
Lauren.
know what? When Sheila...
Okay, wait. Now here I am as Sheila. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, okay. Right.
If I were back in town, Lauren wouldn't stand a prayer. She wouldn't stand a chance. And she'd be wishing she never lived there.
I love it.
Crazy.
I got chills. I love it. Can I just call you every time you're in Mammoth and you just do that for me? That is amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I have a couple questions?
Yeah, go right ahead.
How do you feel, Kimberlin, knowing that Sheila is just the most evil character on daytime? I think she's even worse than Victor Newman. And you have everyone loves this evil character. How do you say, what's that? Are you people crazy, or how does that?
No, I think it goes back to what I've always said. I played her in a way that I think the audience could understand that why she was the way she was. I mean, she tried so hard to be loved. She just wanted to be loved and didn't really know how to go about getting it the conventional way. And people felt sorry for her because she was always trying so hard to be happy and trying so hard just to be loved. And it just wasn't happening. And I think that's why people felt sorry for her, because they could see that what she really wanted wasn't to hurt people. She just wanted to be accepted and to be wanted and to be loved.
Wow. And my other question was, Kim Zimmer in a lot of interviews has said that fountain scene, that famous fountain scene where Reva Shane baptized herself as part of Springfield, she just lost herself in the role. And I was wondering, as I was listening to your interview before, have you ever done a scene with Sheila, and you just like completely just, I'm not Kimberlin in this moment, I am Sheila, and you just lost yourself?
You know, I hope that I would lose myself in my scenes every time I did them. The way that I trained was that you can talk yourself into anything. People do it every single day.
Wow.
And if you're having a really great day and you're excited, and the more people you tell about it, the better that day becomes, and the more energy you actually even have. And if you're having a really bad day, you can, you know, the more you tell your friends about it, the worse that day becomes. So, you know, I take on that kind of an approach to my acting, where you can physically talk your body into anything.
Wow.
And that's the way my acting coach taught me. So every time I was doing a scene, you know, I had myself convinced that that's who I was. And
wow.
That's what I was doing, and why. And that's what made it real to me, and by making that character real to me, you know, hopefully made it real to all of you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And just let me just say thank God for you two, because your storyline is all over there. So, you know, even though we don't see you right now, we can go relive some of the greatest moments. And later at the show, after we disconnect with you, I put together a montage. You know, I did that last time while we were on the show, but this time I'm going to play it after we hang out, so people can just, you know, get that, you know, hear some of your greatest lines. And, you know, the writers back then were, you know, your lines were just like, you know, right on point. I mean, they were sharp, they were to the point, and you didn't have to say much and just arch that eyebrow, girl, and you just had don't care.
Yeah, my kids and my husband are afraid of that eyebrow too, by the way.
Oh. Well, that came in handy over the years.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny. Well, I'm going to intermingle some Twitter questions and some chat room questions. So Anthony says, Kimberlin, thank you for being so great to your fans on Twitter. Can you please tell us what it was like filming the scenes on Bold and the Beautiful when Sheila got a fireplace poker stuck in her side after battling Maggie, who was played by Barbara Crampton for anybody? Would love to hear about those scenes if you can answer that.
You know what? Playing the scenes with Barbara, it was fun. And you know what? It didn't go long enough, that storyline, I felt. You know, the poker thing, if you can remember correctly, there were a couple of stabs, you know, at someone's head there, and it hit the ground. And then when I did get that in the side, you kind of worry. You kind of go, where's this going to go? Like I said, Bill was always a master of storytelling, and he didn't let his actors know in advance because he didn't want the press knowing. That's why everything came off so seamlessly and so beautifully, because we were, you know, pretty much in the dark as our fans were. So, you know, whenever I had the opportunity to be in a physical confrontation on the show, it was always a challenge and always fun and rewarding at the same time, because, you know, you can do a scene where you say, hi, how was your day? Oh, it's really great, thank you. Well, what are you doing now? Well, I'm on my way to a meeting, and, hey, I'll see you afterwards. Let's have dinner. Well, okay, that's all nice and to the point. Or you can do a scene where it's, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you right now. And that kind of stuff was always just so fun. It was fun and challenging. That's the one thing with my character. It was always challenging. She always challenged me to come up with something new or something else or just something that would work. And those scenes with Maggie were wonderful. I love Barbara Crampton. I love her, and I wish I could have done more.
Yeah. That's a good answer. So there you go, Anthony. He's saying thank you, Kimberlin, in the chat room.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Let's see here. My first question for Kimberlin is, what Y&R characters would she have wanted Sheila to be involved with outside of Lauren? Because Lauren was pretty much centric to Sheila. You didn't really have a lot of, exposure to the other cast of that time. So, who would you have liked to, work across from that you knew of on the show?
Gosh, there's so many talented people on The Young and the Restless when I was on that show. It was just, it was just like so incredibly talented. Obviously, it would have been fun to work with Victor Newman. Two very powerful personalities acting against each other or with each other even would have been a lot of fun. There's just too many. The whole cast was just phenomenal. So how do I pick just one, you guys? That's not fair. Ooh, not fair. Not fair.
I think that you and Peter as Jack would be electric. I think the screens would melt across the world. I think that would just be so perfect.
You know what? You've got a point there. You do have a point. Peter and I. We would have some fun there. No doubt. No doubt. But I wish I could have worked with Jeannie. Jeannie Cooper was a sweetheart to me. It's not always easy going on to a new show and having the kind of success that I had so quickly. It's not always easy being the new girl. And Jeannie Cooper really took me under her wing and made it easier. And I would have loved to have worked with her. But anyway.
But that is one of the questions that was coming up was, could you ask Kimberlin her favorite Jeannie Cooper memory? Fans would love to hear her tribute to Jeannie, which you kind of just answered that in a way.
Absolutely. So, I've got more to say then about Jeannie. At one time I was asked to go to New Orleans for a book signing. And it was myself and Jeannie and several other castmates from Young and the Restless, and it's the first time I'd ever been to New Orleans, and she found that out. And she said, meet me in the lobby tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I said, okay. And I met her in the lobby at 9 o'clock, and Jeannie had hired a limousine to take the two of us around New Orleans. She wanted to show me New Orleans and show me the places that the tourists don't go and the restaurants that the tourists don't eat at and the sights. And I will never, ever forget that moment, ever. That's the kind of person that Jeannie was.
Wow. I love hearing that backstage stuff. That is amazing.
Yes. We like to hear the good stuff. That is great. I had the honor of last year for the 40th anniversary. Now that I'm back in California, CBS invited me to their 40th cake cutting anniversary, and that was her last day of filming. We didn't know that at the time. We didn't know that she was ill. So I had a chance to see her. She had been on my show twice in 2012 and 2013, and she recognized me, and she came up and she gave me a big old squeeze on the cheek, and she said, never stop what you're doing, because she knew that my mission is to help celebrate and keep soaps alive. And every time I get frustrated with my show, or I would just be, when I throw my hands up and just not do it anymore, that little angel comes into my mind, and I'm like, no, I got to keep doing it because Jeannie told me to. So it was nice to have that moment with her. And then when we found out that was her last day of filming, and then when that episode aired, it was so hard, and that was such a hard episode to watch because Jess Walton had the last line with her, to help her. Her character Jill asked Catherine, would you like some help going up the stairs? And Jeannie turned around and ad-libbed the response was, I think I can handle it, or something like that. And it was beautiful. And she is an angel that's definitely missed. And just an honor to be, for you to have that experience. That is something that we definitely treasure forever.
Yeah, I do, and I will.
Yeah. Let's see here, some more questions. Philippe from Paris, I believe he's the one from Paris. Hi, Kimberlin. Philip from Paris. I would like to know if you keep in touch with some of the Y&R or B&B actors and with Brad Bell. Thank you.
You know what? Tracy and I actually periodically touch base, and I actually touched base with Brad not long ago. So, yes, I mean, do I go and have dinner and cocktails with everybody? No, I'm in San Diego. They're up in Los Angeles. So what I do is I'll give, Tracy a call when I'm headed up to L.A., that kind of thing, and touch base that way. Everybody's very, very busy with their lives and their careers, and it's just nice to be able to tweet and email and text each other just to keep up and say hi. So yes, I do say hello with quite a few people. I check up with Ron Moss and Tracy and Ken Haynes still, and did talk to. We've been playing phone tag with Brad, but I keep up with a few people, and Twitter, like you said, I've been trying really hard, has made it a little easier. I mean, Casper Van Diem and I have reconnected, and quite a few people from Twitter that I was amazed at. But
social media has definitely changed the world, and it's just amazing that back when Sheila made her appearance, had we had this type of technology, you would have. I mean, I know you got fan letters and gifts and that kind of thing, I'm sure, through CBS, but just to have that instant love of your character, or hate, because people love to hate you and hate to love you, as Sheila. So that would have been something, back in the 90s when you first came on board as the sweet little nurse that turned evil.
Right.
We don't really have any, good crazies on daytime right now. We've got one over in General Hospital that's doing okay, but it's kind of tough because you set the bar pretty high on you did, and it's kind of when I see someone crazy, I'm like, they're not doing it Kimberlin style. All right. David, you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna actually have a couple comments. As you Doug described, the nurse that turned crazy. Did you realize how many other villainesses you spawned? Annie Dutton was a very nice nurse when she came on Guiding Light, and then they had a writer change, and she turned crazy, and she's almost iconic as Sheila. So I just think it's pretty awesome. I don't even know if you realize that, but
no, you guys be careful of the healthcare industry, okay? See, it's not just insurance you need to be worried about. It's about the people you go to see.
I just wanted to tell you about that, and I can't do this show without mentioning one of my favorite Twitter people. Her name is Sheila Lives, and she is so awesome. She loves you, and she's just so awesome. I just can't do the show about you without mentioning her. She's at Sheila Lives. She's so funny. She's great. And
well, I got to tell you, and Philippe from Paris, he's just been amazing, absolutely amazing as well. And he most recently sent me a message talking about putting together an official Facebook site for myself, because I don't really have one, and I think I'll definitely be getting in touch with him about that. I think that sounds like a really wonderful idea, and it would be something where I could touch base with my fans, and if they had questions, they could be answered. And we all, like I said, get so busy with our personal lives and our business lives, and to have somebody like Philippe willing to tackle that kind of a job on my behalf, I was very, very excited to get that information. So that's something I'll be following up on in the near future as well.
And he is another one from Paris right now, so he's listening.
Yeah.
Oh, great! Hey. Yay!
another one of your followers who I bumped into, who I adore him. His name is Justin, and the reason why I adore him is because my mouth was open looking at the dolls he had made of you and Tracy. I've never seen anything like that before.
Oh my gosh!
Do you know who I'm talking about? Have you met him?
Why have I not seen these dolls?
I will send you the link. He made these dolls that look identical. They're like Barbie, but your face. And I'm staring at them. I'm like, is that Kimberlin? Is that Tracy? My mind is blown.
So he's an amazing. So he's a sculptor then.
Apparently, you have to see this. I've never seen anything like this before. It's truly amazing. Yeah.
If you're listening, call in. If you're listening, call in.
Yeah.
Please.
His name is Justin. I can't remember his last name, though, but he's amazing.
So you can find that link and send that to me?
Yes, Justin. Oh, here he is. Justin, let's see. It's Justin J. Haire, Haire. He has Sheila in her lab coat, and then Lauren, and I had to do a double take. I couldn't believe it. You guys look amazing.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I want them. I want them on my mantle.
Well, wait a minute. If I see them, I might want them on my mantle.
Yeah, you will.
Wow. That's great.
That is awesome. You know, there's another question from, a lot of these questions are from @SheilaLives, because she has this, she's like the fan club sort of yours, so there's a lot of followers. So they were giving me a lot of questions, and one of them was, what does Kimberlin think it is that gave Sheila near mythical status as a soap opera character? And my question I was getting ready to get into was, you know, do you even comprehend how big this character was? You know, I know going in, I think we talked about this last year, that it was going to be just a short role, I believe.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being, you know, nearly 2 decades. So, you know, of course, going right in, you probably didn't know, but, you know, as the years progressed, I mean, did you know that it was going to turn into something so historic, I guess, you know, from daytime?
No, I really didn't. I've got to be honest. And when you're acting on the shows, you know, there were always things that the show would send you to. Not me, but you know, I can't even. They would send you to other countries. Even they would send you on all of these things, and I never got sent, and I never really knew the power of my character and the impact that I had made on so many people, quite honestly, until after I left the show. I mean, you know that you have fans while you're on the show, because they're wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful, and they write you and comment. And it wasn't until I left the show that I realized how popular my character was internationally. After I left the show, and then I got the call from Frank, who was in charge of PR at the time on Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful, and his international department wanted me to go to Bulgaria to present Outstanding Male Actor Award at their film awards back there. And when I got to Europe, and I had to have, you know, 6 bodyguards and all of that kind of stuff, it was like, wow. I had no idea. I mean, because I go to work and I go home and I'm a mom. I go to work and I go home and I make dinner and I wash laundry on the weekends and clean the kitchen, and I was never really aware, quite honestly. I was just so happy in what I was doing and so happy in playing my part and going to work that when I went home, I left work at the door. So you have no idea what it means to me when I still have people, you know, like yourselves and like Philip and Olivia and everybody who who, still bring Sheila to the forefront, still bring my character to life, and still talk about the wonderful things, that Sheila created for the young and the restless and the bold and the beautiful. And I think it means more to me today and now. I was always thankful because that's the kind of person I am. I was always thankful, but now when I still have people come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, we love you and we just wish you were back, and we loved your character and what you did with her," and it means so much more to me today, I think, than it did then, because I'm detached from it now, and when people come up to me and make comments, it really warms my heart. It warms my heart to think that I had that kind of an effect on people with what I so loved to do.
Wow.
That's great. That's a great answer. Thank you for that. Gregory is listening in on Twitter. He says, maybe you could ask Kimberlin, how was it like working with Roscoe Bourne? And for those who don't know the name, he played terrible Tom Fisher, Kevin's father. What was it like working when you returned to Young Restless in, I think it was 2005 or 2006,
right.
and worked with him and blew up Lauren and Michael on the boat and stuff?
Well, excuse me, isn't he the father of some of my children now, too?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Your twins that you had within 4 years that are 18
exactly.
and 19 now.
Exactly. No, it was a lot of fun working with Roscoe. I mean, he was very professional and very, very well prepared. When I first started working with him, he was coming off of a serious illness. He had... He was losing weight. He wasn't well, and then they found out he had some kind of a parasite that he picked up when he was traveling, abroad. And so he was in kind of a recovery mode when I was working with him. So days were challenging to him as well, because he was still trying to get healthy. But always interesting, always fun, always very energetic, very physical, very, very physical. Wherever we had a scene where he had to grab me or push me up against the wall, as you guys may recall. He's one of those actors. He gets so into what he's doing that he kind of has to check himself and just be a little bit careful. So it was always kind of thrilling, quite honestly, when you had those kind of scenes, because you were so into the scene, but you were a little on edge too, because you wanted to you kind of insulated yourself a little bit because you never knew where it was going to go. But for me, as Sheila, it was exciting because it was like, ooh, I've got someone pushing back. And I think it made for some really interesting scenes.
Yes. Yeah, those are the days that I miss. I'm not being challenged right now. I mean, they're just now starting to do some interesting things with some book of life and stuff. But I miss that wasn't quite Bill, that wasn't Bill Bell, but I miss that type of storytelling. And it's just so, like we mentioned earlier, it's just so different now. And I'm not like on the edge of my seat like like when you were on. You didn't know what Sheila was going to do next. We don't have a character like that, so that's why it's time that CBS and Sony say, "Hey, Kimberlin, it's time to come back." And even if you, I'm sure, I mean, you couldn't even tell us even if you were, to come back. It would have to be a surprise because it's
but then that I go right back to what I was saying before. You liked it because you didn't know what was coming next. That's what I liked about playing that character because, between Brad and Bill, you didn't know what was coming next.
No.
I would get there were a lot of actors that would read ahead on their scripts, and I didn't want to because I didn't want to read something that was going to happen, 3 or 4 weeks from now and have that affect what I was going to be playing tomorrow, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I really prepared on a limited time scale because I didn't want it to affect the character that I was playing. But I hear that a lot these days, Doug, that people aren't, that it's like predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's sad, especially for us who've watched for decades.
Well, and daytime was never predictable before.
No, exactly.
If I could say something positive about the new regime, I have a feeling, and they do this too, I have a feeling that if Sheila were to come back, she would be integrated with just more than Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
I think that because they introduced the character Ian Ward, who was back in the 80s, and he's already interacted with more than one generation of the show. So that would be so exciting to see who Sheila would not only come back and what she's going to do to Lauren, but who else is she going to come back with, and how else is she going to affect the show. That's what I think would be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, I agree with you. That would be fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Another question here is, where to go here? Does she agree that what made Sheila and Lauren so unique is that Lauren was a bitch in her own right?
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Does Kimberlin agree that what made Sheila and Lauren so unique is that Lauren was a bitch in her own right? Because back then Lauren was a bitch.
Yeah, see, and that's another thing. I'll come up. People will come up to me and go, "Oh, you were such a bitch," and I go, "No. Lauren was a bitch. Susan Lucci's character was a bitch. My character was just evil."
She totally was.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Yes.
Because my character was never bitchy toward people.
No.
My character would listen. My character would actually listen to them. But
with the gun pointed at him.
It's that little dark haze that would come over Sheila's eyes when she was listening to them. But,
and not only that, but you made a good point in the last interview. And a lot of people kind of forget this. Even I forgot it. Lauren didn't want anything to do with Scotty Granger until Sheila entered the picture. And I think a lot of people forget that.
Yep, and it happens in everyday life.
Yeah,
it happens in everyday life. The person that wants to be loved by somebody, a lot of times isn't until somebody else is interested.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with Lauren. Lauren wasn't interested until she saw how interested Sheila was in Scott and how nice Scott was being to Sheila. So
I think that's something that's not talked about a lot in the rivalry between the two, because it changes the dynamic. If you look at it as Lauren's a victim, oh my gosh, but if you get that first piece of it, then you're like, oh, well, Sheila isn't that evil. I mean, she's evil, but the place she's coming from is she just wanted to be with Scotty, and Lauren was trying to take her man from her, and it kind of changes things a little bit.
Well, I mean, if you can remember the scene where Scott was dying, and basically, admitted he had made a mistake, and that he realized that I was the one who actually loved him. So that was a pretty powerful scene, and you're right. People, it would have changed the dynamics. It would have made Sheila more likable, and and the thing is you can't have a. Well, I guess I was about to say you can't have a likable evil character, but you know what? My character was very likable, very liked by many. So.
Yeah, I mean, Sheila did woo, Eric Forrester, so so you were likable until they crossed you, and then you pushed them over balconies and whatever else you did.
Hey, that was that. Nope, he never should have grabbed me. He never should have grabbed me. I didn't actually push him. I pushed him away, and he lost his balance. See, I have an excuse for everything.
You do.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love it. This question is from Facebook. His name is Matthew Keller. He's a huge fan, and he says, Miss Brown, my name is Matthew Keller. I've been a loyal fan of your work on Young and Restless since the age of 8 years old. I remember one of your first scenes like it was yesterday, Lauren coming off the elevator at Genoa City Memorial Hospital. From that point on, a decade-plus battle began. Closing, I would just like to thank you for your dedication of the character of Sheila Carter, and thank you for bringing her to the forefront of Young and Restless and Bold and Beautiful for the years when William J. Bell gave you the opportunity. If it's okay with you, Ms. Brown, I do have a question. If CBS, well, we've already answered this, but out of respect, I'll ask it. If CBS calls you and asks your input on Sheila's return, how would you like to have Sheila return to Genoa City? Okay, I guess that was a little different than what we talked about.
Wealthy.
Yes.
Wealthy and powerful.
Yeah.
And in a position that perhaps Lauren wouldn't want to challenge her or to have her arrested, and the people that love Lauren wouldn't want to have her arrested because perhaps I actually own her company and she doesn't even know it.
Oh, that would be amazing. Because then you would have to work with Jill. You'd have to work with
wouldn't that be
Jeff
fun?
Walton. Yeah, you would. Oh, the two of you in a scene would just be electric.
Because I don't know if you know this, a few years ago it was revealed through story that Jess and Tracy's character, Jill and Lauren, are actually sisters. So there's some new dynamic there with that family, which was a big twist, because we thought Jill was Catherine's daughter for a long time. So that would be fun, and they would have to, of course, clear up, why the other Sheila was there for a while, which is, of course, we all have agreed unanimously that it was sugar. You were busy. You were busy out there getting rich. You were busy, okay?
Yep.
You didn't have time to come to town to mess with her. You've done it so many times. You're like, oh, sugar, go take care of my business. I'll get with you later. So,
right.
You had suggested that in the last interview that Sheila may have inherited Massimo's millions. So I think that's perfect.
That's a definite possibility, guys.
Well,
I just heard my daughter knocking at the front door. Alexis.
The guy that creates the dolls is on the line. I'm trying to figure out which one is on here because we're going to take calls now, so we can let you go. So I'm trying to find out which one is him. So tweet me back, Justin. What's your the next digit after what you just told me? Thank you. Just tweet me back that next couple digits, actually, because there's two from your area code. Okay. The last question I have from Twitter, and then I'll let you talk to a couple of fans, and then we'll let you go, is would you ever consider writing a memoir?
Ooh, that's fine.
You know what? I've never really thought of it. Once again, it comes down to what I said earlier. I never realized I had the impact that I had, and it's something. It'd be interesting. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went on that would be interesting. There's no doubt about it. It's something that I haven't really thought about until I heard you ask me.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's something to ponder in between projects. Because I would buy it and read it, and I would find you in Mammoth and ask you to sign it. Because that would be awesome. You can call it like the Sheila Diaries or something like that. I don't know if that's like copyrighted or whatever, but I mean, we would also like to know about before that too. How your life, how you got into it, because not only we're talking about Sheila here, but you were Rachel on One Life to Live. You were on All My Children. So so you've been on quite a few, and then you've done other.
Started back as far as Danielle Steele on.
Oh wow.
Yes. So wow. You've been doing this for a while, but you don't even look your age. You're like
you
flawless.
don't age.
Oh my gosh, you guys are too kind. Too
All
kind.
Right. Well, I'm going to bring Justin on. He's the one who created the dolls, so we can talk to him. So, Justin, you are now live with Kimberlin. Go ahead with your question or discussion.
Hi, Doug. Hi, David. Hi, Kimberlin. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. When you see these dolls, I hope you're not creeped out by them. I did this out of complete adoration, for everything that you brought, to the show, and I was a huge fan. And I just wanted to sincerely thank you. When I gravitated towards the Young and Restless in the early 90s, this was before, an awareness of bullying. And so high school, junior high was tough. And so after a rough day, I could come home and live vicariously through Sheila. And it was a healthy way to deal with, how school was then. But I'm just a huge fan, and I just sincerely appreciate, all that you brought to the show all those years. And congratulations on your new design show. I've just finished watching the first season.
Oh, thank you.
I just have one.
I'm glad that I was there to help you get through your bullying season. Though I've got to tell you, I was bullied horribly in high school, and it's not an easy place to be. It really isn't.
No.
And I'm glad that you could come home and kind of escape from the madness of the day.
Right. I do have one small question. Just a technical thing I've always been curious about. You've stated that a lot of your scenes, you acted with, few actors. You didn't get to interact with most of the cast. So there were a lot of scenes Sheila was by herself. And a lot of times it'd be like you were in your thoughts. Sometimes you would say them out loud, and sometimes you're looking out the window pensively, and all these thoughts are going through your head. So I just wondered, technically, did you do the voiceover work first, and then you'd have to react to it, or would you get directions like, okay, now you need to go to the window, and you should have a pensive look on your face, and you're thinking about this? I just wondered, from the technical aspect.
No, whenever you see voiceover stuff done, you always taped that before you filmed or before you taped. And then that way you could actually react to what you heard yourself saying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easier for you to actually put down the voice part of it. And then that it made it easy for me, because then when I'm in my thoughts, when I was angry, every once in a while, how I would turn quickly and be able to scowl and things like that. It was because of what I was hearing in my head.
Well, thank you for clearing that up for me. It's just something I always wondered, because I just felt so bad that so many of your scenes, you're by yourself and you're always lost in your thoughts. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, and I can't wait to see the dolls.
Again, I'll tell you what brought those about. A few years ago, they came out with Crystal Carrington and Alexis Carrington from Dynasty Dolls from Barbie, and I thought, those two rivals. If anybody else should have a doll, it should have been Lauren and Sheila. So I originally created them in Barbie scale, and I had done a diorama, and then that wasn't good enough, so I collaborated with another artist, and we came up with the 16-inch versions, which I think captured you and Tracy much better.
Oh, yeah.
So again, I just hope you're not creeped out about them. It's just
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. And to think that our characters inspired you to create something like that. That's actually quite a compliment. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Justin.
All right.
Talk to you on social media.
Good night.
Bye.
All right, let's go ahead and get a couple more calls, and you get back to enjoying your vacay. There's another one from 980. That's why I was asking which the digits were. So the other 980 is live with Kimberlin. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Freddie. I'm one of the Facebook fans. I cannot believe I'm talking to Kimberlin Brown. Oh, my God.
How are you? Hey, Freddie.
I'm well. I just want to, hi, how are you all? I'm so nervous. I just want to hop on to what the previous caller said, because I went through a horrible bullying period in high school. And I used to sneak and program the VCR. My mom didn't know how to work a VCR, so I would sneak and record the shows and come home and watch when my mom was asleep. And sorry, I'm so nervous.
Don't be. It's okay.
But that character was, like, awesome for us people who were bullied, because we could, like, look at you and be like, you know, I'm not going to be treated like that, you know. And I'd go to once they all found out I watched the show at school, they'd be like, when I get mad, they'd be like, oh, here comes Sheila. You know?
That's great.
But my question is, I'm so nervous. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
My question is, if Sheila your character were to come back to the soaps, do you think that character could be rehabilitated into an actual good person, or would you be able to convey the drive that you played Sheila with an actual, like, 100% corn-fed, good character? Is that possible?
You know what? I think anything is possible. Absolutely. You know, people are capable of change if they want to change. That's the thing. You know, you oftentimes hear people complain about their lives and where they're at. But, you know, you have the power to change your life. You have the power to do good. You know, we all know right from wrong. And, you know, unfortunately there are a lot of people that just choose wrong. And take a look at the people around you that choose right. And, yeah, Sheila could definitely become a good person. Now, does that mean she will forget her past or where she came from? Absolutely not. You know, the one thing is when you've come from the place where Sheila has come from, it's kind of like an addict trying to get over a habit. She would constantly be challenged to not go back to her old ways. So it would actually be a fun thing to watch.
Right. Cool deal. Awesome talking to you. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for calling, Freddie.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Freddie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This must be double area code night, because those were 2 980s, and now I have 2 504s, which are Louisiana. So I'm going to take the 504 with the number 4 as your first digit. So you're live with Kimberlin. Go ahead with your question or comment.
Hi, Kimberlin. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. My name is Stacy Perez from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I just want to say to you that I really love you. I love your character. I miss seeing you on the shows. And I really didn't have any questions for you. I just wanted to be able to tell you that.
Oh, my God. Thank you. Thank you so. You know what? It's kind of like what I was just saying earlier, Doug, as far as you have no idea how much those comments mean to me. I really, it brings into focus just how important my character really was, and I thank you so much for that. That's lovely.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope that we can see you on the shows again. And do you have another show that you're doing now?
I do. It's a design show though. My second career is in design, so it wouldn't be Sheila at all. It would just be Kimberlin. It's on the Design Network, and it's called Dramatic Designs.
Dramatic Designs. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll link you up to it, Stacy. I'll hook you up.
Oh, great. Okay.
Hey, thanks, Stacy.
Okay.
Thanks so much for your call, hon.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
Good night.
I'll put you back on mute. All right. And our last call is also from 504, so we'll go ahead and take you. Go ahead, 504 again.
Hello?
Yep,
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Kimberlin, this is Craig, and I was a fan of yours for a long time. I don't know if you remember my voice, but I've called every time you go on the air.
I do. How are you?
I love
Good. I'm doing great, and I was I'm sorry I'm calling late. I live in New Orleans too, Louisiana, and it's Mardi Gras season, so we had a parade that started today, and I told Doug, I said I will make an effort to call because I need to speak to Kimberlin because I missed being on TV.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you doing okay? Everybody's doing okay in your family?
Oh, doing great. Yep. My daughter just walked through the door. It's my son's birthday, so we're
that's
celebrating.
Great. That's great.
Yeah,
that's good. I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to us again because we miss seeing you on TV, as you know, and I would love to see you back again as Sheila or just on a soap, if we can get you on there. So I just want to let you know we think about you all the time,
you. Thank you.
That's not a problem.
Keep it up. They might listen to you guys one day.
You've made a good impression on all of us, and we love you to death, and we just hope to see you again,
Well, thanks a bunch, bud. Thanks a bunch. And you have fun there at Mardi Gras, okay?
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. You have a good night. Thank y'all again for taking my call.
No problem. Thank you. Glad you got through.
Bye-bye. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right. Listeners, we're going to be letting her go in a few minutes, but stay on because I did a little 3-minute tribute compilation of some of her greatest moments, so that way you can listen into that. Kimberlin, I just want to tell you thank you so much. Before we end, I want to hand it over to David and see if he's got any last-minute comments or questions before we wrap up.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say just a couple of things. One, I talk to Justin all the time on Twitter, and he's just so amazing, and I just love him to death. And also Stacy that called in, she's a fan of our show, and she's always wonderful, and I'm so glad she called in. But I lastly wanted to thank you for coming on. You are just amazing. I didn't really know a lot about Kimberlin because I was so focused on Sheila. So finding out about you, not only just from the past interview, but tonight, has just been amazing. It's nice to hear someone so appreciative of their fans and so humble, and I can't wait to see you back on top again.
Well, thank you.
Your design
we won't wait another year, okay?
No. The year was too long. And let me tell you, when somebody was talking a story about high school, I'm a little bit older, so I wasn't in high school. I was right out of high school into college. And let me tell you, this is an embarrassing story. Okay, I'm just gonna open the library here and tell you that I was working at Kmart, and I was working in the little deli area, and I had this apron on, and at the time Sheila was faking her pregnancy, and I was a little heavier back then, so I looked like I was pregnant, and I would rub my belly acting like you behind the counter. Okay, that's
Did you have a boy or a girl?
I did end up having a boy, actually. He's 18
okay.
now. But it just hit me when they were talking about that. I used to be like, I'm going to get you, Lauren, and I was rubbing my belly, and I was like, oh my God, no wonder I ended up crazy. I need to go back to the mental hospital. But anyway, Kimberlin, this has been a wonderful treat, and I told you I met you in 2005, and I'm sure you've met so many people during that event. I'm going to tweet you a picture of me and you just so you know the face with the voice, so that way you know, and then we will have you back in the summer and see what's going on then. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely a friend and a fan of the show, and I know how to get a hold of you, and just keep on sharing those pictures of that beautiful family and the things that you do, because that's just so many celebrities of all types share their lives with us through this, and it's not everybody shares every moment, but to see, like today, I will have to tell you, somebody on Facebook, I took your pictures and shared on Facebook there's a Sheila group out there. There's a Kimberlin Brown Sheila group with like 800 fans in it. And I put your Instagram picture in there because some people don't have Twitter. And they're like, oh, my God, her son looks just like her. And I was like, so it was nice to to see your family and stuff, because some celebs don't like to share that. So I'm just thank you for opening up your life to us as well.
No problem at all. And I look forward to our next interview.
I cannot wait. So and we will from our lips to God's ears and CBS and Sony, we're going to get you back somehow, babe.
No, I'll be ready. I can tell you that.
All right. Well, you take care, and we will talk to you again soon, okay? And we'll tweet you those pictures and that information.
Okay, wonderful, Douglas.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, Dave.
Bye. All right. Before we go into our after show, let's listen to some best moments.
I really don't like fighting with you all the time, Lauren. Look, maybe we could get together sometime with our kids.
That's right, I forgot. Your baby died.
This week, Sheila Carter is a loose cannon. What do you want?
I want you.
And at any moment,
I see you're still crazy as hell.
at any second,
You're finished.
Outrageous bastard.
she could go off.
Nobody move. Don't even breathe.
You won't want to miss a minute of The Bold and the Beautiful.
Remember me?
Collide with the face of evil. It's an evil she's fought before. An evil who'll try to destroy her again. The she-devil is waiting for you, Lauren, right where you live on The Bold and the Beautiful weekday.
Don't blink, Sheila.
I've had it.
And don't look away.
Maybe my family was right about you in the first place.
When things get too hot in L.A., where else can you go?
Who was it that said you can't go home again?
Sheila returns to the theme of her greatest crime.
Remember me?
Talk about a nightmare in daytime.
So, Stephanie, who's crazy now? Who's crazy now?
You keep pushing and you push and you push and you know what's going to happen. Oh, what, Sheila? What's going to happen? I'm going to make sure that Eric has a real woman, someone with dignity. You aren't going to tell Eric anything. Oh, how are you going to stop me? Oh, don't push me, Lauren. Don't you make me hurt. Sure you want to, don't you? Come on, Sheila, come on! You're talking at me like a twig. Nobody. Nobody. Come on, nobody.
All right. There's just some of the clips. There was so many out there. And I just grabbed up some that I didn't play on the last show. So if you missed the first show that I did last year, definitely go to onairwithdouglas.com on the archives. But anyway, David, what did you think?
I'm just in awe of, I was more of an Annie Dutton fan because of the fact that I was a Guiding Light fan, but I definitely liked Sheila a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But God, I am such a Kimberlin Brown fan. I mean, geez,
right?
She's just amazing.
Yeah.
She literally is. And, I love the fact that she told us that she was bullied. I think that there's a lot of that in Sheila, that, she sees the people that bullied her as Lauren. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's a lot of that. And I'm in love with this woman. I think she's so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, it's just, I've been doing this for a while now, and I've talked to a lot of greats, but, just to know that the woman that so many people idolize for 22 years now is on our show. I mean, a second time, and I'm not being egotistical or anything narcissistic or whatever the words are, but she went on Twitter asking her fans how to get a hold of me, and that just made me just cry when I found out. because, I mean, I must have, made an impression or something, and that's just fantastic. She's such a wonderful lady, and I'm just so blessed that I've been able to meet her back in 2005 and have her on the show, and she, would come back anytime. We should ask her to come be a co-host sometime. That'd be fun, because
right.
Catherine Kelly Lane was the co-host when we interviewed Adrienne France, who plays Amber. Catherine Kelly Lane came in, and she actually asked to be the co-host for that show. So it was awesome because she did all the questions to Adrienne, and I had some questions. Me and Pam had some questions, but it was fun to have Catherine interview Adrienne. So I would love to have that again, anything like that. Have two castmates kind of talk and interview each other. So that was a lot of fun.
What really trips me out about her is that she is Sheila Carter on screen, and she's probably one of the most evil villains next to Victor. I think she's even worse than Victor Newman.
Yeah.
And then you talk to Kimberlin, the person, and she's like Susie Homemaker, and you're like, what? How does, and I know that it's just a character, but wow, complete opposite. The tone of voice, the everything, complete opposite.
She even gave us some Sheila. I was like, had chills.
That gave me chills. That's just, I almost lost it.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Wow. I hope everybody enjoyed it. It's been a long time, a year that I've been waiting to get back in touch with her, but she got in touch with me. So be sure to go to the Design Network, look for it, and I'll link it out to our followers at On Air with Doug, and I'll link it on Facebook as well at the On Air with Doug Network, so you guys can check it out. I've watched season 1, but I haven't seen the new season, so I'm going to go check that out here in a little bit. But wow, that was great. So
I'm going to say this is one of my at least top 5 most favorite interviews. She's just amazing.
Yeah.
And the level of appreciation that she has for us, it's not like some people, oh, thank you so much. She appreciated us so much, she opened up and said something she probably didn't even think she was going to say, because Justin revealed that about himself, and that just made me love her even more.
If more people like that were to do that, it would change a lot of things. So that's great. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. I'm just in awe. I'm going to be able to go to sleep tonight just probably dreaming of Sheila now. And I totally spilled the tea about me rubbing my stomach when I was fat back and working behind the counter with that apron on. Yeah. Oh my God, that was so funny because.
Now I see people, I'm going to think that they're the guys. I'm going to be like, is that guy pregnant? What is he doing? I always thought it meant he's hungry. That's what I always thought. I don't know.
No. I mean, I really took it to heart. I mean, I was back there, and reciting lines. I was obsessed. I was a little. But anyway, that's for another story. You can read my book when it comes out. So speaking of books, I got 2 different things to talk about here. First off, I meant to say this at the beginning, and I hope you're still listening. But today's show and every show is sponsored by Audible.com. And if you don't know what Audible.com is, it is the leader of audiobooks and information and entertainment. So if you have a favorite book, say by Stephen King, and you want to take it and put it on your iPod or your Kindle or something that's audio, related. If you have a tape deck or an 8-track, it don't work. But and you can listen to it while you're working out or listen to it while you're laying in bed. And you can just enjoy the. And speaking of audiobooks, I got the audiobook for Jeannie Cooper's autobiography because she reads it. And it is fantastic. And it's such a treasure now to have that, because now that she's no longer here, I can listen to that and hear her tell her story anytime I want to. So anyway, audibletrial.com /On Air with Douglas is the address to go, and you get a 30-day free trial. And then if you do decide to stay on, then you get 1 free audiobook a month, and then you get, you can buy more, of course. So definitely check that out. And you can also check out my Indiegogo campaign that's going on for my own book. I'm in the process of writing a memoir that's going to be out later this year, and I'm doing a fundraiser now to get things, in motion to get it ready to be published when I'm ready. So you can go to Indiegogo.com, type in The Road Traveled, and you'll see a little redhead guy there. That's me. Click on that, and you donate $1, $2, $1 million, whatever you want, whatever those dollar counts. We only have 12 days left, so I'm really going to be whoring this out. So watch out, social media, just because I really want to get the money raised. And then not only am I a first-time author, but our very own David has 2 books out. So David, where can we get your books at?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the Audible. I'm actually trying to work on getting, there's been a huge request getting my books on audio. So I'm working on that, but now you can go on iTunes, you can go on Amazon, you can go on the Nook, and you can also go on BarnesandNoble.com, and you can go on, obviously, Amazon.com, and you can get my books there. But, and I said this before, the great thing about buying my books through Amazon is if you buy the paperback, you get the e-copy for free. If you buy the e-copy, you get the paperback for free. So the e-copies are $1.99, very affordable and very fast reads. The e-copies are about 55 pages long, and the paperbacks are about 100 or so, so maybe you read it in 2 nights, 3 nights. But, yeah, pick your copy up and support a local and LGBT author, and I'm going to be finishing the 3rd book this year and finishing that series.
Well, that is exciting. I'm excited to see what's coming with your story, and I can't wait to share my story with everybody as well. So we're authors here. And, just to spill some tea here, there is someone I met recently on Twitter who is an author. He writes erotic fiction, and he's really interested in joining the Spilled Tea, so we're going to have him on when we come back to see how he flows with our chemistry. But that's just amazing that we keep drawing in, or attracting authors to our show. So there's a theme here. There's a theme here because Kyle's getting into that. Dallas already writes his amazing web series. If you go to onedayatime.com, you can read that. It's a soap opera, text-based soap opera. It's fantastic. So yeah. So, and you can follow Dallas on, Dallas is at one day, another whole long thing. Sorry, I meant David. You can follow David at DOQUINN76 or at On Air with David. And you can follow me at On Air with Douglas. And for all you new listeners out there, thank you for tuning in tonight. We've been around for quite a while, so you can go to onairwithdouglas.com, click on Archives. And if you love soaps, 80% of our shows have been soap opera people from past, present, and look forward to returning for season 3 of the interview show, which is this show, in March. We're taking the rest of the month off, and the Still Tea season 2 premieres on Oscar night, right before the Oscars come on, so we can dish our predictions before the show starts. So I think that's pretty much it. So anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys.
And I'm so glad she stayed so long, too. I didn't even ask her how long, but
I just love her. I just love her. And if you guys want to follow her, she's at Kimberlin Brown on Twitter. So.
Yeah, definitely is. And I'm just now getting ready to tweet my picture to her so that way she can see. And if you follow her, too, I'll tweet it to everybody else, too, so you can see me with her. It was a dream come true for me. All right. You guys have a great night. Have a great rest of the weekend. I hope everybody had a great Valentine weekend so far. And just be good to each other and do something good for a stranger this week, and tweet me about it if you did it at On Air with Doug. So with that, good night, everybody, and we'll be back soon. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks, Doug.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks for listening to tonight's show. Be sure to see what's coming up next at www.onairwithdouglas.com. With over 240 shows in the archives, take a look around and listen to all the great guests you missed. Follow the show on Twitter at On Air with Doug. Until next time, have a great night.